Hello, everybody. I am Andrea Keefe, the Meetings and Events Coordinator with IPC. I am very excited to kick off today's webinar on Sneak Peek into IPC Apex Expo 2019 Professional Development. It's important to note that today's webinar is being recorded and will be sent to you via email a few business days concluding this webinar. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please send them using the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. At the end of the webinar, we will go through the questions and answers at that time. Today, I am pleased to welcome Jasbir Bath with IPC to be our featured speaker. So Jasbir, thank you so much for being here. I'll now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Andrea. Hello all. This is going to be a review of the professional development courses at Apex. Here's my email address in case there's any questions. Agenda, we're going to cover the different courses. There's a total of 30 courses that we have over 3 days, the Sunday, the Monday, and the Thursday of Apex week. So we'll cover the design courses, the fabrication and troubleshooting courses, the assembly and troubleshooting courses, the reliability courses, the test courses, as well as other courses as part of the 30. So in terms of the design courses, we have 3 of them. PD13, Design for Excellence, DFM Part 1, PD19, Design for Excellence Part 2. Those are both done by Dale Lee at Plexus. And we have PD16, Best DFM Practices for Board Engineers, done by Susie Webb. In terms of PD13 and PD19, which is Part 1 and 2 of the same course on DFM by Dale Lee, this covers understanding of errors in component supply documentation, PCB laminate materials and impacts on functionality, copper thickness impacts on fabrication process, via formation hole filling, solder mask, screen impacts, PCB design complexity impacts, and then limitation of industry standards. So that's a Part 1 and Part 2 of the course. Each part will be half day. In terms of the PD16 course by Susie Webb, they'll talk about good practices for building footprints, how parts are placed for manufacturing, routing practices, trace width, spacings, stack-up structures, and then documentation for the manufacturer that is completed understandable. That'll be a half-day course. In terms of PCB fabrication and troubleshooting courses, in terms of the PCB fabrication part of it and fabrication materials, we have 2 courses on that. One will be by PD03, which will be PCB Fabrication Basics by Jim Vanden Hogan from San Diego PCB. And there'll be a PD course on Aster FlexPerts on flex materials from Mark Finstad and Nick Coop, who's mentioned here. In terms of the PD03 course by Jim, it's kind of covering the PCB fabrication process, area design and optimization, material utilization, stack-ups, aspect ratios, fabrication drawings. In terms of the flex presentations, the course PD27, this will cover reasons why to use or not to use flex circuitry, cost drivers, layouts, materials, terminations, and virtual plant tour. We also have 2 courses on PCB fabrication troubleshooting, the Part 1 and Part 2 by the same instructor, Mike Carreno, looking at troubleshooting PCB defects, root cause and prevention. This is just a list of the different parts. PD17 is Part 1. These are the things that are covered in Part 1. Interlayer treatments, fabrication opens, misregistration, etc. Part 2 covers electroplating issues, MILSPECs, bites, solder mask issues, etc., pad cratering. So it's basically, this is a 2 half-day courses, Part 1, Part 2. Okay. In the assembly side of things, the PCBA and troubleshooting courses, we have 1 course on additive technologies for assembly, non-contact additive technologies, and this is by Gustav Martinson from Micronics. We have a course, half-day course on solder materials, achieving high reliability for lead-free solders by Ning-Ching Lee, the Indian Corporation. And we have a reflow soldering process and influence on defects course by Maniam Ramkumar from Rochester Institute of Technology. In terms of the PD01 course, this will be the additive manufacturing course, additive technologies course. They'll cover the different descriptions of different non-contact disposition strategies, dispensing, jet printing, inkjet. It'll cover other more advanced technologies, aerosol printing, laser-induced forward transfer, and cover different possibilities of where these applications can be used. The PD28 course from Ning-Ching Lee from Indian Corporation will cover lead-free soldering practices, surface finishes, mechanical properties into metallics, failure modes, reliability, thermal cycling, electromigration, reliability in terms of tin whisker issues. In terms of the PD22 course by Mani and Ramkumar, this is the part 1 and part 2 of the course. I'll just double check. This is 2 parts. Sorry, actually this is just 1 part, half a day course. It'll cover the reflow soldering processes and the process parameters, identify importance and influence of phase diagrams, flux, temperature, time, etc. Look at fluxes, solder alloys, metallizations, look at profile requirements for various types of assembly, look at oven construction, and look at joints and the parameters for effective soldering, so all parts of the reflow process. We also have a course on selective soldering by Bob Klenke at ITM Consulting, and we have a part 1 and a part 2 covering rework, advanced rework, hands-on BJ reballing and leadless device rework from James Bernard and Norman Meyer Jr. from Best Incorporated. The selective soldering course from Bob Klenke covers these different areas: flux chemistry, mitigation, gold embrittlement, different process requirements from the standards, solder testing program protocols, lead to hole aspect ratios, prehinting functionality, thermal processing capability, effects of contamination, IMC, intermetallics, tin whisker mitigation, avoiding excess rework, and solder joint inspection methodologies. In terms of the rework courses, the PD04 and the 10, that's part 1, part 2, they'll cover different types of reballing, plastic, ceramic reballing, rework of BTC bottom termination, QFN components, materials processes, etc., to rework these types of components, and talk about assembly process for tin lead and lead-free soldering for rework. We'll also have troubleshooting courses on PCBA. There's 5 of them total. We have a PD02 and a PD08 by the same instructor, part 1 and part 2, SMT and through-hole defect analysis by Mani and Ramkumar for Rochester Institute of Technology. In terms of this PD course, part 1, part 2, it'll look at SMT and through-hole processes, assembly types, identify different defects, what are the different factors affecting defects, PCB, component, material, etc. related, what are the possible root causes, understand a systematic approach to problem solving, develop the ability to define the problem clearly, look at different root cause methodologies, and look at a methodology to address root cause and how you apply in different situations. Also part of troubleshooting, we have a PD14 and PD20. These are 2 half-day courses, making a full-day course on best practices for improving manufacturing productivity by James Hall and Phil Sarrow. We also have a PD15 course on preventing production defects by Jenny Huang at H Technologies Group. So the PD14 and PD20 presentations, the workshops from James Hall and Phil Sarrow will cover optimization and getting the most productivity from the existing line, look at best practices in the assembly process, the printing process, the pick and place process, the reflow and wave, the various processes, as well as best practices, as well as looking at best practices for assembly of challenging components like bottom termination components and miniature components, O201s, O105s, ultrafine pitch BJs, and CSPs. In terms of the PD15 course by Jenny Wang, look at product production defects and product failure preventions, look at common production defects and issues, look at reliability of the joint, as well as PCB and component considers, look at pad cratering, look at open insufficiency, or the best bet, look at BJ, head-on pillow defects, copper dissolution defects, through-hole barrel filling issues, defects of BTC bottom termination and package-on-package components, joints, looking into metallic compounds, as well as looking at tin whiskers and mitigation issues. In terms of reliability courses, we have 4 of those at reliability failure analysis, PD11 will cover failure analysis, and this is by Bhanu Sood from NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. We also have a course on selection, PD12, selection of materials and process for high reliability by Barry Dunn from the University of Portsmouth in the UK. PD11 from Bhanu Sood covers reliability basics, understanding failure mechanisms, covers stress testing, failure analysis, non-destructive and destructive methods for electronic failure analysis, and board and component level case studies. It's a half-day course. The other half-day course is PD12 from Barry Dunn, suggestions for management and approval of materials for high reliability assemblies, look at general issues related to electronic boxes, corrosion, wires and cables, soldering, red plague, workmanship requirements, assessment of PCB suppliers, assessment of SMT lines, etc. for harsh environments, training of operators, lead-free control, planning, and non-destructive testing. As well, part of the failure analysis reliability group, we also have two other courses, half-day courses. One is PD21, Reliability Physics Introduction, DFX, from Doc Brown of DFR Solutions, as well as PD06 from covering J-Standard 001, and iron residue testing from Douglas Pauls at Rockwell Collins. So the PD21 by Doc Brown will cover reliability physics, methods achieving reliability and durability of design by design, durability simulations, reliability assessments, the board materials, the role of them, semiconductor wear out, as well as reliability effects of coatings and pottings. The PD06 from Doug Pauls will cover military and commercial manufacturing standards, basically the standards of required annual cleanliness requirements of 1.56 milligrams of NaCl equivalents using the ROSE testing, but this is should be an obsolete practice. The course is looking to address objective evidence for control of residues on manufacturing electronics, and how ROSE should be used as process monitoring. It will also use this, review this in terms of a proposed approach outlined in the J-Standard 001 standard. We also have component technology reliability courses. One specific area will be PD05, where it's looking at flip chip, wafer level CSP, and fan-out wafer level packaging, assembly and reliability from John Lau at ASM Materials. Assembly materials, looking at advances and trends of assembly of these materials, and just cover different things in terms of all these different components and trends, assembly and reliability. We also have thermal management modeling courses. There's two courses in this area, PD26, Thermal Management Solutions Using PCBs from Mike Tucker at Kingwan Electronics Corporation, and PD18, PWB, Cooling Analysis from Patrick Mooney at Northrop Grumman. The PD26 course from Mike Tucker will cover material selection, stack-up design rules for copper blind via structures, copper inlay. We'll also cover basic cost-related factors as we present the different parameters of thermal management, discuss performance and reliability tests based on their experience from testing results. The PD18 course from Patrick Mooney will cover the purpose of PWB thermal models, management expectation, what focus you should do in terms of time spent, what is important, and modeling concepts specific to the major PWB thermal management configurations, looking at different forced air, conduction, cool, liquid flow through, assessing heat transfer in the PWB material, interpreting component data sheets, placing components into the model, as well as methods to augment thermal performance. We also have course on test. This is one course on PD25, looking at cost-effective design for testability and test strategies for JTAG boundary scan from Luis Ungar at AT Solutions, looking at test strategies for boundary scan ICs, non-intrusive test strategies, boundary scan, DFT metrics, DFC standards for analog, for easy coupled, etc., all for D-incline for excellence, boundary scan, and optimizing strategies economically with boundary scan, how you do that. This will be a half-day course as well. Other courses that we have, one course on ESD, PD30, looking at sources of electrostatic discharge in a production line in terms of robotics, from Hartmut Berndt from BE Stat, European ESD Competence Center. We'll also have a course on, half-day course on Lean, PD24, continuous improvement from Stephen Williams from TRA Consulting. We also have a course on contracts, PD07, from Contract with the Customer, what the EMS and Management Executive needs to know, from Jeffrey Roth of F&B Law Firm PC. So in terms of the ESD course, PD30, we have a number of failures caused by electrostatic discharges. The course will give an overview of possible causes for ESD in future S&D production lines where we have more robotic systems, and they'll cover the sources and solutions to reduce electrostatic discharge. The PD24's course on lean will cover an overview of lean. Lessons learned in manufacturing management will be learned. Cover different topics: need for lean, the drive for lean, continuous improvement, and then why yield is not good enough. These are all the different course pieces of the lean part. PD07, which is the contracts half-day course, looks at specific issues EMS companies face when contracting with a customer. Looks at have a workbook containing exercises, sample contract forms, suggested guidelines for key contract terms, etc. You look at forms that we use, guidelines for best risk allocations in the contracts, key areas of high risk and how to manage, contract negotiation strategies, proper use of letters of intent, strategies for managing startup or risky customers, and avoidance of and resolution of disputes. More details of all of these courses are online at the IPC website. This is just a piece of taken from the course contents in terms of that. That is the end of the presentation. Is there any questions?
Thanks, Jasbir. Let me see. We haven't received any thus far.
No problem.
So if anyone has any questions, just make sure you submit those using the control panel. And I did send out a message to everyone. If you do want to look at the full descriptions and any additional information regarding the professional development courses, you can actually do that on our agenda planner, which is at the Apex Expo website. I also linked it accordingly. All right, so
just to give a general overview of what people need in the industry. That's how we worked on selection of courses and how we chose the courses we did. Yep. Any other questions?
It looks like somebody has said the link doesn't seem to work. You actually have to just copy the link and then paste it in your browser. And if it still doesn't work, the best way to access the agenda planner is just to type IPC Apex Expo in your search engine, and the website will come up, and then under schedule, you'll see the agenda planner.
Let me see if I can just get that up now.
Perfect.
See if I can, so if I just put IPC Apex 2019, hopefully you can see this. So here's the front web page.
Yep, under schedule.
And then
you can, yeah.
I'll just do that. Schedule it accounts, I think. And then in this,
you can search by type.
And then go to product development, professional development, sorry.
Yep.
And then you've got all the courses listed. PD1,
yep, and then you can hover, click description.
Yep, it'll tell you what the level is in terms of what the level of the student should be who's going into the course, what the room number is, who the person is who's presenting. And then you click on this, the description. This is part 1 of 2 of a course from Mani and Ram Kumar, and it goes into the discussion of part 1 is this workshop. Attendees will learn how to do this, and I'll give you more description. Okay.
Yep. And one other thing to note on this website that we do get a lot of questions after the actual event. We email the proceedings and presentations for all of our educational offerings However, they're also uploaded in the agenda planner. So once you've logged into your profile, if you do register for the event, you will also see the link to download the presentations in this agenda planner. So yeah, that's some helpful information. We do get a lot of questions about that.
Yep. So it's all there. You need more information, or any of the courses that we have or the technical conference, they're all there. All the information is there, as well as updated as we can. Okay.
All right, perfect. I think that's it. Thank you so much, Jasper, and thank you everyone else.
Thank you. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.